And our guest, Miyen Low, L-O-W, has been with us before in November of 22. The segment that we had with Miyen touched briefly on three important qualities. I'm going to read this: mindful leadership, mindfulness, compassion, and service. In this segment tonight, or in her tomorrow morning, May 30, Miyen Low will dive deeper into looking at how these three qualities, putting them together, can be a powerful way for leaders, business leaders, to improve the way they lead themselves, their people, and their organizations. In addition, for the last 3 decades, there is a large body of research that has shown that effectiveness of mindfulness and compassion by a business leader will help mental health, well-being in the workplaces, whether it's in office, at home, hybrid, remote, or on an assignment. Mindfulness, she says, there's groundbreaking scientific research supporting various benefits of practicing mindfulness as a leader. I hesitate to use the word manager, but as a coach, as a talent developer. Better physical health reduces stress and improved concentration and memory, improved interpersonal relationships, and increased happiness in life and satisfaction. Can you imagine? Compassion is doing something about it, taking charge, being intentional, understanding, showing that you care. So we'll be back with Miyen Low in just a few minutes. Welcome back to Global TV Talk Show. Thanks. And now we're back on Global TV Talk Show. It's a little after 8 p.m. on the 29th of May, the year 23, here in Southern California. And with us is Miyen Low in Kuala Lumpur, that's KL in Malaysia. And it's just after 11 a.m. on May 30th there. Welcome, Miyen.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you for having me back for the second time in your feature show. Yeah, so I'm excited to be back. Yeah,
it's such an honor for me to be back with you and to further our growth and audience building in the Asia Pacific, South Asia Pacific area. So just a little bit, I'm going to read this about yourself, Miyen Low, and that's M-I-Y-E-N. Last name Low, L-O-W. You pioneered 27 years ago, my God, pioneered the EAP in Malaysia. EAP means Employee Assistance Programs. You've written articles on EAP development for an international publication. You provide EAP corporate training, coaching, crisis intervention, psychotherapy, psychological assessment, lecturing and supervision, especially connected with these important things: mindfulness, self-compassion, managing stress and burnout in relationships connected with work primarily, but also in life, because that's your job. Enhancing resilience of people, and therefore the company, enhancing resilience and wellness, creating a culture for well-being to happen within the workplace. Now, in Asia, and in many cases in the US, the patriarchy doesn't want to hear about this. They think it's soft, right? So we know, and I know because of the training from Dave Levine and others, and you, I've learned a lot about how it's not soft. It's hard money, hard dollars, or hard currency, because if people quit, you got to replace them. You got to onboard, you have to train new people. Very expensive and risky. So why not keep the best talent that you have and get rid of the others, but go inside. That's what you're preaching. Go inside yourself and become a better mindful person, because the people are relying on you as a leader to show compassion. And what is, to you, Miyen Low, what does compassion mean in the business management context?
Okay, thank you for the extensive, intro into our dialogue today. Yeah, and in fact, we are not only going to talk about compassion itself, which is the most misunderstood as the soft quality of a leader. Later on, I'm going to talk about mindfulness and also a commitment to service by leaders. Yeah, and these three qualities are mindfulness, compassion, and commitment to service. Actually falls under what we call the three important qualities to be a mindful leaders. Yeah, and in our previous show, we briefly touched on that. And today I'm happy to dive further deeper into this. And because I personally, has been, of course, teaching mindfulness and compassion classes, for over 10 years. Yeah, so I know these three qualities are very powerful. Yeah, and especially if you're talking about, like I said, the patriarch, the leader of the organization, if they can actually really, allocate, a space to actually look at these three important areas, I'm very sure it will improve the way they lead themselves and they lead their people and their organization, and especially, I think with post-pandemic, right? I'm very sure it is a universal struggle. Every organization, every workplace, every community, people are still struggling with the impact, the mental health impact, which is usually delayed than the physical infection, of the pandemic, So now it's actually managing the delay impact of our mental health stress challenges. And in fact, burnout is a buzzword, Ed, right? In terms of how people are saying that they are actually very stressed and burnout now, 3.5 years after the pandemic. So really, as a seasoned EAP professional, in fact, a lot of my work these days is focusing on training the top leadership, the middle management, the managers, and I really, teach or advocate, at least if I don't get to deliver the training, at least I can advocate about mindful leadership. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question about the psychological damage, potentially, not only from the burnout idea, but from being virtual. It's not good. It's not good for some people, or maybe a little, especially women managing family, managing the house, managing life, as well as doing something at work, right? And so that has worked terrific. Work productivity goes on at all hours, not just 9 to 5, and right, and the quality is good. But
are we sure the quality is good?
But let's just say that the hybrid approach is really the answer, just figuring it out. And the managers, the direct supervisors, that's where the trouble is, not in the workforce. It's in that guy, usually, who's not trained and maybe is learning the hard way now, rather than the easy way of coming in with a more open-minded approach.
Great question, Ed. And it's really a great question then for me to actually dive into these qualities I'm talking about. Because I laugh because we assume that from the virtual, and of course now it is a hybrid. Hybrid is probably I think the 80% practice of a lot of workplace globally. It is our assumption that people has adapted from the full virtual then to the hybrid, and of course some industry is still totally face-to-face. So but I can tell you from the psychological perspective, the 3.5 years from the group training, from the individual counseling session that I had, the blurring of boundary for all these employees, be it virtual or hybrid, like you say, their personal and work life are not so clear-cut compared to the good old days, and in fact, that is an increase in the demand in their life both, work and living. Yeah. So, and of course, the technology, doing hybrid work, you need certain technology to support us. And, these are the hidden stress that a lot of us in workplace are struggling with without daring to say a word. Yeah. So I call it, all these are very hidden stresses that has been ongoing. So even at this stage, yeah, in fact, at this stage, this is where, the concern for us, the mental health professional, is actually people may be burning out, but they're not even say, because we are so-called, out of the pandemic, we should be functioning better compared to the lockdown. Yeah, but yet, we are feeling this emotional exhaustion, this feeling of cynicism, or being detached, or apathy, or even, that sense of reduced personal accomplishment. And these are the three elements of burnout, Ed. Yeah. So people, I'm hearing this, from the group training and the individual session, but people don't even know these are actually signs and symptoms of burnout. Yeah, so it's very tricky, right? So here we are, the leaders may be thinking that, oh good, now that we are out of the woods, yeah, so-called, yeah, with COVID-19, yeah, so we should, like, okay, let's strive on, let's increase, our work, our productivity, and so on and so forth, without realizing, yeah, that lingering stresses from the 3.5 years, it is actually triggering, or I would say arising at this point. And this is where, a compassionate leader, a mindful leader, and a leader who are committed to look at service for their employees, yeah, the mindful leadership qualities become very, very important.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about emotional exhaustion.
Mm,
And in the past, people have hidden that. They
mm.
didn't want to show it. You know,
Oh, it's virtual. It's not seen, when it's virtual, it's not seen, right, Ed? Yeah, because I mean, our Zoom, right? We can't really see each other clearly, right? We attend
oh no,
meeting.
I see you very clearly. Okay, so let's talk about something you wrote
Emotional
about here.
exhaustion. Yeah.
Yeah, depersonalization, which means that it's a feeling of not being productive, self-worth, combined with a striving and a guilt. I mean, it's like a mess.
Mm.
It creates more problems. It doesn't solve the
Yes.
problem.
Yes. Yeah. So the three symptom, three symptom or three element, whatever you call it, for burnout. Yeah. This emotional exhaustion, which is actually a combination of mental and physical, right? Once we have an emotional exhaustion, I'm sure the mental exhaustion and the physical exhaustion is also coming together. Yeah. These three comes together. And then, like you say, the depersonalization, that feeling of like don't care, apathy, cynical, detached, yeah, and this definitely will reduce, yeah, the accomplishment or whatever we want to do, right? Our motivation, our confidence to do things, and this is the worrying part about, the syndrome of burnout, yeah, among the workplace.
Well, tied in with all of this is
Mm,
sort of in a summary fashion
mm,
to what we were just discussing, blurring of the boundaries because of working from home a lot, blurring of the boundaries between professional life and personal life.
mm.
And
Yeah,
it's become more public.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But not everybody is um, savvy enough to say, who cares? Just get the work done.
Yeah. So of course, yeah, of course, I'm very mindful to add, yeah. So of course, yeah, I'm a psychologist, right? So of course, I'm addressing, the group of people that are struggling. Of course, there's also group of employees that are fine, they don't experience, all these burnout syndrome
Right.
and so on and so forth, and they're happy with hybrid. They know, yeah, they know how to manage very well, the balancing of the boundary and so on and so forth. Of course, there are people who are very happy. In fact, the outcome of the pandemic, people are happy with a hybrid. Oh, you, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
happy.
So, yes, yes. But again, as an EAP professional, from psychological background, and of course, I'm talking about, cases that I'm attending to. And of course, the other part that I am very passionate about is we need to train the managers to identify.
Right.
Yeah, because by the time they come to the consultant like me, it's already very stressed out or burnout, right? So if hopefully managers, the leadership, this is the leadership quality part. If they actually have these three qualities, the mindfulness, compassion, and commitment to service, and I'll talk about a little bit more of each in more detail, so the listener can really understand why am I emphasizing on these three to help make a resilient leader. And a resilient leader means that a leader who is very agile, flexible, able to adapt, and not micromanaging, are able to delegate, give mandate to their people, so that's resilient leadership, or even a resilient leader means if they struggle with problem, they will go and get help, or they fall down, they will get up and bounce back, because a resilient leader needs to lead their people out of the danger, right? So if they are not resilient, then the organization is in trouble, right? So to cultivate a resilient leader, that's where, of course, there are many angles, and today, of course, we are focusing, I realize I'm not saying that, these three are the best, no, but to cultivate a very resilient leader, these three that I would like to focus about in our dialogue today, is important. Of course, there are many other qualities. We don't have time to talk about that. So these are the three that I think I chose to share with the audience.
Well, thank you. So just to review, we're speaking live in Kuala Lumpur, KL, in Malaysia. And it's now after 11 a.m. on May 30 there, and where I am in San Diego, California, it's a little after 8 p.m. on May 29. Miyen Low is a clinical psychologist and one of Malaysia's foremost proponents of the application of psychology, mindfulness, and self-compassion for individuals, couples, family, in the workplace, the community. She's been doing it for more than 27 years. Miyen Low, let me ask you about the mindfulness and the self-compassion. Does that mean not feeling guilty, just dealing with what you have from a how do I learn more about this so I can do better?
Okay, so this is the part where I will share with the audience, like I say, very quickly, the three component of the mindful leadership, right? So let's start with mindfulness, Ed, because mindfulness is important to have that qualities or the element because it helps the leader to understand how their mind works and to become more self-aware themselves. And it helps the leader to enhance their focus, concentration, build resilience. And when they have this good awareness, a mindful leader understands life difficulties and complex situation, the physical and psychological impact at workplace. They are aware of the vulnerability of themselves and of their employee. So if they have this quality, so they will be a very balanced leader, clear, calm, confident, grounded. Like I said just now, they know how to be agile, adapt, and including, knowing how to identify sign and symptom that my employee is in trouble. And then knowing, how to actually tap resources to render support to my employee. So that's the mindfulness component. And of course, the compassion component. This is not being a soft leader. No, this is about, I'm a leader. I am this balance that I'm talking about, right? Calm, clear, confident. And yet, I am a leader who understands people at their emotional level. I care about them. I care about their well-being. So in case all these life difficulties, complex situation is happening, so therefore, in fact, it's inclusive. The mindful, the compassionate component is actually to have policies at my company or policies at my organization that is people-centered, wellness-focused, so that, this policy will support my employee to be healthier. When they're healthy, it's higher engagement, higher loyalty, higher performance. Yeah, that's compassion. So you see, mindfulness and the compassion, these two works like a left and right wing together. Yeah. So this is the left and right wing together. And of course, the other component, commitment to service, is the one that we don't leave out for a mindful leader, is that a leader who is committed to service, will be a leader, that has this sense of trust to the employee, give the employee the space and support to thrive, knowing how to delegate, like I say. So this is an important ingredient, to support, employees, leaders, and the organization to thrive, even in the midst of life difficulties and complex situations. So in combination, that's why I find these three qualities are so beautiful to be practiced by a leader to really build a resilient organization. So very quickly, I hope I can, put the three pieces together: the mindfulness, compassion, and compassion, of course, is self-compassion and also compassion towards others. Just like you say, it has to start with self-compassion. If I know, or if I'm aware that I'm tired, I'll be kind to myself and I'll take a rest instead of pushing myself. I may be burnt out as a leader, right? So that self-compassion has to start from myself first, knowing how to take care of myself, of course, with all the self-compassion practices, and a self-compassionate person will guarantee be a compassionate person to other people in their life. So that's why mindful leadership, it has to have the compassion component. That's my long explanation.
No, this is great, and the audience will get it, I'm sure, real easy. So, look, we're running out of time here, but we still have time to just share some dialogue here, because a leader, whether it's a line manager or a C-level, if they are seen, if they are viewed by the employees as they care, it's like powerful, positive PR. And everybody will rally around that champion of being realistic and being caring.
Yes. Absolutely.
And the loyalty factor will lead a straight line into higher productivity, because it's a community. The company is a community. It's not something weird from outer space. It's a community of people, and everybody has human lives. Not everybody's life is the same, right? And the manager seen, the leadership seen, viewed as being smart and in touch, will do wonders for engagement and better relations.
Yes.
And that'll make your job easier.
Oh yes, definitely. And because no matter what, like I say, the sad part is that whenever people are referred to us, they are really super stressed out and burnt out, right? If only, the, like you say, line manager, especially I think the middle management, right, could help to identify earlier. And this is where, I'm very passionate about delivering training for managers. And I've been doing this, especially the past 5 years, focusing on training the managers to identify first, or at least make them be aware of mental health impact at the workplace.
Right.
So the leaders are essential.
Now, you have a local TV show, and do you talk about this kind of thing, or do you just deal with everyday issues?
Oh, okay. I know the TV show, the local national TV show that I did, that was long time ago, before the pandemic.
Well, I think you
it's
ought
not
to do
recent.
it again.
It's not recent. Well, I've not invited to do again. So, but I do it. I do it via a lot of my Facebook, LinkedIn posting to educate people. And of course, yeah, a lot of webinars for the professional association, the chartered secretarial, the what do you call that, the what we call human resource development group, and also so I do a lot of those, participate in those webinars, conference, and I will push this part, hopefully, if I manage to squeeze my topic in to speak to the different group that function at the workplace. So I've been doing that, especially during the pandemic, virtually, a lot of webinars. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you this program link, and you can send it around to the different TV stations and different groups saying, hire me. Give me a TV show and you'll get higher audience participation. Promise.
Yeah, we'll do what we can, right, Ed? That's why you and I are in this dialogue, in our virtual TV show, right? And I think that's where we share our passion together, right, Ed, to reach out to as many people as possible. Through this kind of short dialogue, because people don't have time to these days, very busy, So hopefully they get to listen to us.
Yeah, it's great. It's really nice to have you on the program. You have professional memberships. I'm going to read this in the Malaysian Society of Clinical Psychology, the Employee Assistance Professionals Association, Asia Pacific Employee Assistance Roundtable. And that's how we met, through our friend, a mutual friend, Dave. And I thank you very much for doing this. And tell us about I'm reading this. You're a trained teacher of mindful self-compassion with the Center for Mindful Self-Compassion, the USA, and you have involvement with the cognitive therapy with Oxford Mindfulness Foundation in the UK. That means it's Oxford Innovation, is that correct?
Okay, so two part. Let's talk about, since you talk about the Oxford one. Okay, of course, in the field of scientific based, research based mindfulness program, we actually have two big leaders. One is actually US based, which is actually the Center for Mindfulness in Medicine Healthcare, based in the University of Massachusetts Medical School. So the mindfulness-based stress reduction program, MBSR, is very popular in United States and of course all over the world. The UK side, that's where from the MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, they have actually specialized further the mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, which initially targeted to focus for people who have depression and anxiety. But of course, now you can also run program for community, right? So this one is anchored in University of Oxford, the Oxford Mindfulness Foundation, which of course all the researchers, the teachers, and that's where they run the trained teacher program. Then people like me go and attend, right? So that's for the mindfulness part. And of course, that's where we hope we get the vigorous training for all these, solid organization to be good teacher. I want to be a good teacher because I want to teach the managers, right? So of course, the self-compassion one, like I say, is US based, the Center for Mindful Self-Compassion. The program on this self-compassion part was anchored on a lot of pioneering work by Dr. Christine Neff from University of Texas and Dr. Chris Germer that actually teach in the Harvard Medical School. So these are great teachers, and I'm so blessed and privileged and grateful to be able to attend their program, learn from them, then to be a trained teacher. And they need us, right, to be going back to our home country, right? Learn well, go back to our home country. And then that's where hopefully we will also deliver and teach all these practices and program to our local people.
Miyen, what is your website that people can find more about you?
I actually don't have a website, Ed. I use LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. I think that's the way to go, no? Nowadays, people use LinkedIn.
That's good.
Facebook,
It's
and
good. I use it too. Yeah.
Yeah, so perhaps, you know, when you publish our dialogue, you can just list for them, you know, my LinkedIn ID, Facebook ID, Instagram ID, and depending on their preference, you know, they can actually, of course, connect with me there at any time.
Yeah. Okay. So it's Miyen, second word Low, and look her up on LinkedIn. Thank you, Miyen, for being on Global TV Talk Show again. I'll get this program to you in the next 24 hours.
No rush, Ed. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Peace. And thank you. Be well. All right. This is Ed in San Diego, California, signing off. That's Miyen Low in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It's wonderful to have this connection. Thanks for being on Global TV Talk Show. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.